Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. You're watching L&M Living. I'm Mike,
And I'm Latricia.
and today we just wanted to give a update on our 60-day cruise countdown. Today is day 5. Um, as we said in other videos, we got a cruise coming up on November 5th, Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas, and I'm excited to go. Like, I'm ready to go right now actually, because it's
Same.
yeah it's been sometimes when you're just working. You got that vacation plan. You're just ready to go.
Yeah.
And we had this plan since early this year, probably February, I think. So yeah, we're ready to go right now. But we got 56 days, 55 days left. So we'll slowly get there. But yeah, we just want to give an update on how our exercise has been going and how our weight's been going. So this past week was a trying week, very interesting week. We was trying to get in 5 days of exercise, Monday through Friday, and this week we got in 4 days of exercise. So it's not bad, but I think next week we got to shoot for that Monday through Friday to make sure we maintain that and keep ourselves accountable. Um, as far as the eating went, I think the eating went pretty well. I think I lost maybe 2 pounds since my last weigh-in, which was about 7 days ago, and
I lost an eighth of a pound. So
right.
almost a whole pound.
Right. But that's pretty good though, because I'm much bigger than her, and I guess men lose weight maybe easier than women do.
Yeah.
But that's the update as far as that goes. We're going to continue to do that every week, and hopefully we see results from that. We just want to drop a few pounds and feel better and healthier for this cruise.
Yeah. So we can walk around the ship. Those ships are huge.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them are big. Some of them are smaller, but yeah. Some of them are really big. So the next thing we want to talk about is what cruise ships and cruise lines we have been on. So our very first cruise was on the Carnival Fascination in 2012. It was a 4-day cruise, and I think it left out of Jacksonville, Florida. I remember
Yeah.
driving down there. It was a long drive. We didn't fly or anything. It was our very first cruise, but that's what started us wanting to take cruises all the time. So that was our first one, October 2012, Carnival Fascination.
So our next cruise was Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas, and that took
Mhm.
place in April 2013. That was our first 7-day cruise, and I'm not exactly sure where it went. I can't quite remember, but I do remember just overall thinking that Royal Caribbean was an awesome cruise line. And I knew once I got on that Royal Caribbean ship, or that I would want to continue cruising with Royal Caribbean. Um, yeah, it was just a really great cruise.
Yeah, same for me. Royal Caribbean, Freedom of the Seas. Um, we can compare cruise lines in another video, um, and we can compare different ships. Freedom of the Seas is a much bigger ship than Fascination is. Um, but I think just the overall experience on the Royal Caribbean cruise we took was much nicer. So that was Royal Caribbean and Freedom of the Seas, April 2013. Our third cruise was a 5-day cruise on Carnival Liberty, and that was in September 2014. Honestly, I don't remember much about this cruise. Um, um, Most of the time, these Carnival cruises that we took, I don't remember a whole lot. Like we've taken some pictures in the past, but when we first started cruising, we didn't take a whole lot of pictures or document a whole lot. Um, but 5-day Carnival Liberty, September 2014. I'm sorry. That was our third cruise.
So our fourth cruise was a 3-day cruise with Carnival Victory, and that was August 2016. Again, I don't really remember much about this cruise either. Um, so I'm thinking there wasn't really anything remarkable about it. But we went on a cruise, and I guess we had fun.
Yeah, like when we say we don't remember stuff or remember anything remarkable, doesn't mean we didn't have a good time.
Right.
I mean, every time we've been on it, we never had a bad experience on a cruise
Yeah.
yet. Hopefully we never will.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime we're on a cruise ship, going somewhere, having a good time together, and you can't beat that. So yeah, that was our fourth cruise. Our fifth cruise was a 4-day cruise, Royal Caribbean's Majesty of the Seas, and that was August 2017. And this one was actually a cruise that we took our son on at the time. That was his first cruise, and that was our first cruise,
As a
kind of as a
family.
family together. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that cruise. It was a short cruise, but once again, we had a good time. I do remember that cruise. Uh, we had an inside room together. That was an experience.
It's interesting.
Yeah, two adults and your kid in a inside cabin on a cruise ship. But yeah, nonetheless, we still had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that I think really introduced our son to cruising. And I think he actually enjoys cruising now as well. So hopefully when he gets older and starts having kids, he can take his kids on cruises too because that's something he did as a kid. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really cool.
Yep, definitely, definitely. Yep. So that was our fifth cruise, Majesty of the Seas, 2017.
So our sixth cruise was our first 11-day cruise. And that was on Norwegian Breakaway. That was January 2019, and that actually sailed out of New Orleans, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, this was a very long cruise
Mm,
for us. I mean, I know there's longer cruises than that, but when you're used to taking 4 or 5 day and 7 day cruises and you're taking 11-day cruise, you definitely notice the difference.
mm,
And I thoroughly enjoyed the breakaway. That is the only Norwegian cruise we have been on. Not to say we won't take one again. If the right one comes up, we'll definitely take it. But yeah, we definitely had a good time on that one, Norwegian Breakaway 2019.
yeah,
Our next cruise was a 7 day cruise, and this one's on Royal Caribbean again, and it's Oasis of the Seas. This was February 2022, so a big gap there, obviously. We know the reason why.
right.
Um, this was also another family cruise. This one we took our son on, we took our daughter on, and we took our mother-in-law with us. Um, and once again, we had a great time. Oasis of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, Royal Caribbean is a very big ship. Lots of things to do for adults and kids. And I do remember having a great time on that ship.
Yeah, I remember having a great time on that ship too. This was also our daughter's first trip, or her
Mm-hmm.
first cruise. So once again, it's we're introducing another generation to cruising. Um, and I would like to say about Oasis of the Seas, that aqua show,
Yeah.
amazing. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that before. And it definitely makes me want to go on other Oasis class ships
Mm-hmm.
just to see if the aqua shows are any different. I'm sure they are, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, they probably are. Yep. So that was Oasis of the Seas, February 2022. You want to do the next one?
Oh, our next cruise was a 4-day cruise, and that was on Freedom of the Seas. That was October 2022. And this was our second time on Freedom of the Seas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say that after being on a few cruises, going back to Freedom of the Seas was interesting just because I was able to appreciate it from kind of a different perspective. But I really also enjoyed going back on Freedom of the Seas. It was
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah. And if I'm correct in saying this, I think our first Freedom of the Seas cruise was in 2013, like
Mm,
we said. This one was in 2022, and I think there was a revamp of that ship in between that time. So there was some more things to do on that cruise ship. But yeah, we had a really great time on that cruise. And that brings us to our ninth cruise, which was our very last cruise that we've taken, was a 7 day cruise, Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas again. And that was December 2022. Yeah, I mean, I once again, I mean, Oasis of the Seas is it's a great ship. Like any class ship like that, even the Freedom of the Seas is below Oasis, is still a great class of ship to go on. It's plenty big to do whatever you want to do on it, as things to do for adults and kids. But yeah, we had a great time. Oasis of the Seas.
Yeah, this was a cruise, a couple cruise. The kids stayed home that time,
Yeah,
and I think we were able again to experience the ship in a different way, with it being just the two of us versus a family cruise.
definitely.
And I'll say I had both. I had fun both times. It was just different things that we did, but I still overall had a really good time on both of those cruises.
Yeah. So that's our cruise history. So that's 9 cruises, basically spanning over a decade. So this one coming up in November was going to be our 10th cruise, and it will be another Royal Caribbean cruise. We'll probably make some more videos in the future about which cruise line we like the most, but probably from this video, you can probably tell so far which cruise line we like the most.
There's a bias. There's a
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
bias.
definitely is. Everybody has reasons why they like things. We have our reasons, um, but there's definitely more cruise ships and cruise lines we want to experience. These are just 3. Obviously, there's ones that we haven't tried, and there's sister companies of all these um, ships here, and yeah, we'd like to experience all those.
So that concludes our cruise experience. Like Mike said earlier, that goes over a 10-year period, and we've seen a lot of things change in that 10 years. If you'd like to hear more information about any of the cruises we briefly discussed earlier in the video, or if you have any recommendations for cruise lines you'd like for us to try so that we can talk about later, please drop those comments in the comment section down below, and like and subscribe, and just come back and watch our videos.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.